Hi everyone. We hope you're having a great summer, but fall camping season is fast approaching, and I have to admit that's probably our favorite time of year to camp. And as I'm sure you know, Michigan is beautiful in the fall. In this video, we'll introduce you to 6 Forest Service campgrounds in Manistee National Forest. Tim and I recently spent some time in Manistee, and we were surprised by how many campgrounds and camping opportunities there are there. There were more campgrounds than we've seen in any national forest we've visited so far. There are many modern campgrounds and recreation areas in Manistee, but in this video, we're going to focus on primitive Forest Service campgrounds. We will start with the most expensive and work our way down to the last couple, which are free. So the first one on our list is Highland Lake Campground. And it is $24 a night, which we thought was really expensive for a primitive Forest Service campground. This one is administered by American Land and Leisure, not by the Forest Service. So that's where you usually tend to see those higher prices. This is a heavily used campground, which may be why this one is administered by an outside company. And they have kind of a weird season. So they open on May 13th and they close early September 5th. And this one is gated during the off season. This campground has 9 sites, a few which would be suitable for small trailers. They have a size restriction of 20 feet or less. And then the rest are walk-in sites for tent camping, where you park on the road and you walk back in just a little ways in order to set your tent up. There is water available here and vault toilets. There is a boat launch and fishing area, and probably one of the attractions of this is that there is a swimming beach. So you can swim right in the lake from this campground. A few of the sites are right on the lake, which would be beautiful camping spots. Each campsite has a picnic table, fire ring, and lantern post, and it seemed to be really well maintained. And this one also has a dumpster for trash, so you are getting some amenities for that fee that you paid. Camping here is first come, first serve, and this is tucked back in the forest quite a ways off the main roads. It is gravel roads to get here, but they are really nice, wide, well-maintained gravel roads. The second one on our list is Walkup Lake Campground. This is the one we stayed in, and the price is $10 per night. This one is administered by the Forest Service. The website says that this is a lightly used campground, but the weekend we were here, it filled up. This one is open from the beginning of May until the end of October, and it is not gated when it's closed, so you can still access it in the off season, but there won't be water or vault toilets or anything available during that off season. There are 12 sites here, and you could probably get a trailer into any of them. They have a length restriction of 35 feet or less, so you could get a decent sized trailer in many of these sites. There is a vault toilet and water available here, as well as a dumpster, and there is a small boat launch at the very back of the campground. Camping here is first come, first serve as well, and this one is right off of a paved road, so it's really easy to access. This isn't the quietest campground. There are many houses across the lake, and there was a very loud pontoon boat that took a spin around every evening. But it really wasn't too bad. The next campground is Sawdust Hole. This one is $5 per night, or you can pay $15 for the entire week. All the rest of these campgrounds we're going to talk about are administered by the Forest Service. This one is lightly used as well, and it's open from the beginning of April until the end of November. There are 8 sites here, and there's a couple that you could maybe get a very small trailer in, like I think we would be okay with our Campanaw in a few of them, but some of them are definitely tent camping, and that's kind of what this one leans more towards, I would say, is tent camping. There is a vault toilet here and picnic tables and fire rings at every site. There is a dumpster as well on your way out, but there is no water available here. This one is first come, first serve as well, and you do have access to the Manistee River from this campground, but you have to walk down some trails to get there, so the campsites themselves are not right on the river. The name of the campground has some interesting history. Back when they were using the river to float logs, many logs would be abandoned in the river alongside the river, so in the early 1900s, abandoned logs were collected and were milled right on site, so there would be huge piles of sawdust. Access to this campground is right off of a paved road, so it is easy to get to. You do have to drive back in a ways to actually get to the campground. It did seem like a very peaceful campground. The next one on our list is Blacksmith Bayou Campground, and this is the one that I was wanting to stay at, but they were doing road construction. There's some freshly paved sections of road in here, and they weren't going to be open on the day that we arrived. So we ended up choosing a different one, but after visiting this one, I really liked it. I would definitely camp here. This one is also $5 per night or $15 per week and is administered by the Forest Service. The website says that it is lightly used and it is open from the beginning of April until the end of November as well. The website says that there are 6 sites in this campground, but it looked to us like there were more than that. I think there are actually 8 campsites. There are 4 here in this front area, 2 on each side of the road, and then there are 4 more stretched along the left side of the road on the way back to the boat ramp. And I would say most, if not all of these, would be fine for a trailer. Oh, 8. Somebody just left 8. Oh, 8 is nice. 8 would be the site. Kind of by itself. Plenty of room to back the trailer in there. You just pull through. There is a vault toilet here, but it is all the way to the back of the campground by the boat launch, between the campground and the boat launch area. There is no water available here, but again, campsites do have fire rings and picnic tables, and there is a dumpster back by the boat launch as well. This is down a gravel road, but it isn't too far off of a paved road. It is quite a drive from the gravel road back into the campground. This one isn't right on the Manistee River. It's actually on a little oxbow off of the river. We really liked this one though. We thought it was beautiful. Campsites here are first come, first serve. This next campground is free. Condon Lake West is operated by the Forest Service, and it doesn't say on the website how heavily it's used, but it looked to us like it's pretty heavily used. It's open from the beginning of May to the end of October, and there are 6 sites here. This one is really most suitable for tent camping, maybe again a very small teardrop or like a truck camper or something like that would work. The main road is really good, but once you turn off to head back into here, it gets pretty tight. Being free, there are, of course, less amenities, although it did look like there were picnic tables and fire rings at each site. There is no water or dumpster, so you gotta pack it out. We didn't see a vault toilet as we were driving through, and the website didn't list one as an amenity, but we did find another YouTube video from 2 years ago that showed an outhouse on the property. We'll link that video in the description. When we got to the end, we turned left, and it looked like there were a couple of large groups back in here. To the right, though, if we had turned right, it looked like there was maybe 1 or 2 empty campsites there. This campground is first come, first serve, and being free, I would imagine that it fills up pretty quickly on the weekends at least. The last one we're going to talk about isn't really a campground, it's sort of a campground, and that one is Government Landing. Government Landing is actually part of a network of dispersed campsites along the Manistee River. Dispersed campsites are usually individual sites that you find yourself, and they're free, first come, first serve, but in popular areas, Forest Service will sometimes designate specific dispersed campsites. In Manistee, you'll find this along many of the really popular rivers, the Pere Marquette, the Manistee River, the Osable River, for example. We talked about dispersed camping in the previous video, so we'll link that one at the end. But we decided to include Government Landing in this one because it is a cluster of sites that are together. This area, these campsites are free, but they have to be reserved from Memorial Day through Labor Day, and you do have to pay a reservation fee. So in the previous video, we talked about that as far as the dispersed campsites go. The same is true for the Government Landing area. There are 7 campsites in this area. There are 3 right here together, right on the river. Oh, all camping equipment must be inside blue posts. Go down here first and see. Stairs up to the vault toilet. So here's one site here. Huh? That wouldn't be bad to back a camper in there, huh? Keep the camper in the parking area there. There's another site there. There is one more site here, and then if we drive all the way back out to the front where that first sign was and continue on the other direction, there are 4 more campsites back there. There are 2 more back here that are suitable for RVs, and then there's a parking area for 2 walk-in tent sites. These sites are open from the beginning of April until the end of November. And remember, they only have to be reserved from Memorial Day through Labor Day. So outside, kind of on the edges of the season, they're first come, first serve. This again is a heavily used area because of its proximity to the river. There are vault toilets and picnic tables and fire rings at the sites, but there is no water available. We would would definitely camp in one of these sites and may try to come back again and camp at one of these. We did check into reserving one for this trip, but they were all booked. We're recording this late on a Sunday afternoon after everyone has left. So that was 6 campgrounds that we visited while we were in Manistee National Forest. You can go to the Forest Service website page and see a full list of the campgrounds and click through each one to learn more about them. We found it a little bit overwhelming. There are so many listed there that looking through them was and kind of sorting out what we wanted was overwhelming. They are grouped by general area within the forest, but it would be helpful if you could also sort them by cost or amenities or something like that also. So we hope you found this video helpful, useful, or at least interesting. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.